and gradually mixed with and dominated the darker skinned peoples of original India. So somebody actually has a webpage up about restoring the Dravidian genocide. I'm just saying. Well, I mean, it's fine from the Dravidian point of view, but I'm saying if somebody comes to me and says I have to feel bad about something that happened thousands of years ago, I can say, well, no, let's not even worry about the well-known excesses of the previous millennium. Let's worry about the excesses of the millennium to come. I am absolutely confident. Yes. I found another page of notes. Excellent. Good segue too. Okay, war, starvation, and disease are always the result of genocide, as long as they are claimed to be somebody's fault, even partially, if that somebody makes a distinction between human groups. Since groups are always distinguished, this happens to be a very easy bar to pass. Now, intellectual pessimism tells us that war, starvation, and disease, or to be blunt, genocide, will kill many more people in this century than in any previous one. Is that logic confusing to anyone here?
Nope.
Okay. But there's also the optimism of the will. Billions will die. We will win. And to deal with objections in advance, that's not actually a prediction, that's a slogan. Okay. They also serve who only stand and wait. And soon, the waiting will be over. The European elite that is now hidden will not be like the so-called elite of hypocritical plutocrats who put individual competitive interests ahead of ethnic genetic interests. We will construct such a system in which the attempt at such a betrayal is individually, instead of racially, suicidal. Now, I just want to say a brief word about something I've already alluded to, and that is the issue of the international rodents. I just want to be absolutely clear that even though this is not a main focus of my talk, well, in some ways it is, but I want to make it absolutely clear that I am opposed to our enemies. And as far as I'm concerned, that our enemies are the Jews, among others. I don't think that's our only problem. But that is certainly one that has to be dealt with. And do I say that? Do I advocate hate or retaliation against any individual Jew? No, I do not. And do I say that they are all such and such, they are all such? No, I do not make any claim that, that there are no likable people to be found among them. I simply say that I agree with Alex Linder that the attempt to, be a libertarian, to be a nationalist, but to not speak out against them in the hopes that then we won't be accused of Nazism or neo-Nazism is useless. Alex argues, and I think convincingly, that it's useless because if you do anything that helps us, you will be accused of being an anti-Semite and a neo-Nazi. That's what the word means, right? Anti-Semite is someone that Jews don't like, and I have no right to say that I'm not one. And I don't say that I'm not one. Okay? And without making any claim about monolithic responsibility on their part, I simply say that there are racial enemies, and that the attempt to belie this point, or run for president of the U.S. on a platform of libertarianism that everybody who, that all white nationalists are tempted to belong to, but somehow elide this one point, is, in the long run, this would prove fatal to our message. Again, quoting Alex Linder, speak, write, and work against the Jews unceasingly. And, just on a lighter note, Norman Lowell has suggested Latin as lingua franca for the Imperium Europa. Alistair Clark actually wrote that perhaps a reconstructed Proto-Indo-European would be better. If anybody has looked at the case structure of Indo-European, this will strike you as even more ludicrous than the idea of people actually learning Latin again, which, again, I think is a noble idea. But I myself, and I know that most people don't agree with me. I don't see anything wrong with Esperanto. I've learned a little bit of it. It's very nice. It's easily learned. There's already a community of Esperanto speakers, so it's a living language. And actually, the fact that it was invented by a Jewish oculist and has been propagated by one world universalists only makes it funny. It only makes it amusing if we had dropped it as a radical racialist right lingua franca. And I think if Zamenhof had not been Jewish, if he'd been one of us, then absolutely nobody would disagree. I mean, Tolkien once said, J.R.R. Tolkien said that he was tempted by the idea of,